Of all the great University of Miami quarterbacks, there may be no one more unique, both as a player, a leader, and as a person, than Bernie Kosar.
I think he is an excellent example of what we would call the student athlete. And I would even go farther and say he's sort of the epitome of a scholar athlete.
Kosar with the eye behind him. Kosar looking. Kosar looking. Kosar big chase. Kosar still on his feet. Goes in for the touchdown.
In the early 1980s, the Hurricanes recruited Kosar out of Boardman, Ohio. But he came to Miami for more than just football.
Mr. Kosar was concerned that Bernie get the proper classes that regular students get, that he was here to be a student first, and that it's important that he get a good education.
Of the contenders for the starting quarterback job in 1983, only Kosar had never played a down. But he did things in practice that made the coaches take notice.
His ability to move the second and third team against the first team was really what set him apart from two very, very fine players and competitors in Vinny Testaverde and Kyle Vanderwen. All three of them had excellent springs and excellent practices in the fall, but it was Bernie's ability to take the lesser of the teams against the first team defense and move that team that showed that he was ready to go and ready to play.
The 1983 season began with a loss, but out of that game emerged a new team and an experienced quarterback.
After the opening loss to Florida, Bernie really grew up. He focused, he set a goal, and our goal was to not lose any other games, and he went on to accomplish that goal, and eventually the big upset victory of Nebraska in the Orange Bowl.
Second and short, like a free play down the middle. Dennison, he scores! Touchdown pass, Glenn Dennison!
The season ended with Kosar as the Orange Bowl's MVP and Miami as the champion of college football. In 1984, Kosar and the Canes kept up their winning ways under new UM coach Jimmy Johnson.
When Bernie took the field, you know, he knew that he was going to put the ball in the end zone. He had such great confidence, and that confidence carried over to the rest of the players and the rest of the team. I think our entire football team knew that we had a chance to win every single game at any time, even if we were behind in the game, for the simple reason we had Bernie Kosar at quarterback.
That confidence was on display in Tampa as Miami trailed Florida in the game's final minute.
We were going to work for a field goal, and I was all set because that was percentage football for us to work for a field goal and win the game. And Bernie says, Coach, he says, let me take a shot to Eddie Brown. He said, I can put it in the end zone. He said, and I can lay enough on it to where if Eddie doesn't catch it, nobody's going to catch it. And it surprised everybody. He threw it into the end zone. Eddie made the catch, and you know, of course, we won the ball game.
He's a deeply spiritual person. I know you see a medal around his neck, a crucifix that his mother gave him that he's worn every game he's ever played on the football field. And he's deeply religious. I can tell you that, quite honestly, you know, it's not uncommon for him to be in prayer before a game, during a game, or even after a game.
After receiving his degree in 1984, Kosar was drafted by his hometown Cleveland Browns, leading them to the playoffs in 5 of his first 7 seasons.
Bernie's a leader, off the field, on the field. He's got a great deal of personal confidence in himself, and he instills that in other players. When he was in Cleveland, a short time he was with the Cowboys, and even recently with the Miami Dolphins.
But what also makes Kosar special is what he does away from football.
Some of his bigger accomplishments come out, you know, off the field. His fundraising for charity, his contributions to the university, and also, you know, his ability to put a smile on a kid's face with just something simple as an autograph.
Bernie came as a celebrity and played in the golf tournament, and afterwards there was a great crowd of people around him because he was doing well in Cleveland. They were looking for autographs. So Bernie is standing there and very patiently autographing all these things that people are bringing up, and about 3 or 4 people back is this little boy with a large pile of football cards in his hand. And as he's getting closer and closer to get these cards autographed, he's feverishly looking for Bernie's card in there, and someone hits his hand and he drops all these cards all over the ground. Bernie immediately stops, bends down, and starts helping this little boy pick up all these football cards. And as he's picking them up, he's looking at this little boy and saying, oh, I got this guy too. And I don't have this one. He finds his card, he autographs it, but the smile and the expression on that little boy's face, looking straight into Bernie's and seeing him, was worth 1,000 words.
Tonight, the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome one of the university's greatest quarterbacks and students, Bernie Kosar.